Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Writing Guy. Let's start with a familiar guy. He's got a job, pays his bills, shows up when he's supposed to. Not a bad man, not mean, not explosive, just flat. He's been fine for the last decade, doesn't cry, doesn't get excited either, can't remember the last time he felt really proud, or really angry, or really alive. He scrolls, he watches, he functions, but something's missing. And maybe that guy is you. You wouldn't say you're unhappy, but if you're being honest, you're not really sure what you feel at all. You just kind of go, like clockwork, like survival mode with a stable Wi Fi connection. And then some tiny thing, some offhand comment, a rejection, a moment alone hits you sideways. Suddenly, your chest tightens, your jaw clenches, your thoughts spiral. Where did that come from? You don't know. And that's the problem. We've been told our whole lives that emotions are either weaknesses, distractions, or things to control. But no one taught us how to listen to them. No one gave us a basic user manual for what's happening inside of us. So today, uh, we are writing that manual, or at least starting to write one. And disclaimer, this is not therapy, this is not a cure, this is just a monologue conversation from one guy to another because it's pretty simple actually. You don't need to be an expert to ask better questions. And most of your emotions can be navigated with a handful of honest ones. So, for the written version of this video essay, you can visit awritingguy.com to check it out later and have a more personal experience writing your own questions. So, let's level set. You have emotions, you're not a robot, you're not a monk, you're not a Navy SEAL on mute. And emotions aren't extra. They're not some leftover evolutionary quirk. They're signals, messy, sometimes loud, often confusing signals, but they exist for a reason. Anger means something feels violated. Sadness equals something feels lost. Anxiety, something feels uncertain or unsafe. Guilt, you think you did something wrong. And shame, you think you are something wrong. Every emotion is trying to tell you something, but here's what most guys do: ignore the feeling, distract themselves, wait for it, so let it pass, call it overthinking, get annoyed that they're feeling it, have some rant session to a buddy or podcast about how women are the emotional ones. And sure enough, maybe emotions does pass eventually, but you didn't learn anything. You didn't fix anything. You didn't get any insight into why it showed up. It's like having a smoke alarm go off, waving a towel at it, and never checking if something's burning. That's called emotional avoidance. And we are world class at it. So here's the pivoting point of this whole essay. You can understand 80% of what you feel by asking a few dead simple questions. This doesn't mean you turn into a motivational speaker, and it also doesn't mean you light a candle. and journal by moonlight. It just means that when a feeling shows up, you talk to it. You get curious instead of defensive. So, this is from my personal experience working as a teacher, talking to big boys, small boys, older boys. Here are the five baseline questions every man should be able to ask themselves. So, the first one is, what am I actually feeling? It's not what you think you're feeling and what's under it. Anger is often sadness, toughness is often fear, laziness is often an overwhelming feeling of stagnation. Try naming it. Maybe one word, not a paragraph, just I feel, and then add something to it. Add an adjective, perhaps lonely, frustrated, anxious, or bitter. That's the beginning of emotional intelligence, not quoting Stoicism on Twitter. The second question is, when did it start? You can track it. Did it hit you after a meeting, a text, memory, something another person said? Most feelings don't come out of nowhere. They have a source. And if you can locate it, you can understand the pattern. For example, you're always irritable after calling your dad. You always feel restless on Sunday nights. You always feel stagnant and frozen after your partner or your loved one call you out for something. Patterns are gold and they give you leverage. The third question, what story am I telling myself right now? Every emotion has a story behind it. You feel anxious. Maybe the story is I'm falling behind. You feel rejected. Maybe the story is I'm not good enough. You feel jealous. The story could be everyone else has it easier than me. Stories feel emotions. You, if you can name the story, you can challenge it because half the time, the story is BS. It's a leftover narrative from 10 years ago, or from your worst moments, or your most insecure self. You can't stop a feeling, but you can stop feeding it the wrong script. The next question would be, what do I need right now? Simple question, but it carries heavy answers. Sometimes the answer is rest. Sometimes it's space. Sometimes it's confrontation. And sometimes it's a damn hug. Men are taught not to need anything, so we never ask ourselves what we do need. And then we explode when we don't get it. Ask the question, see what comes up. And finally, what's one small action I can take? Maybe it's a walk. Maybe it's sending a text. Maybe it's turning off the phone. Maybe it's just canceling something. Maybe it's just saying out loud, I'm not okay. Let's get a beer. You don't need a 5 step recovery plan. You need motions. Emotions don't need to be solved. They need to be seen, heard, and moved through. And actions help a lot with that. So let's walk through 3 common examples. You're lying in bed, staring at the ceiling. Monday's looming. Your chest feels tight. You hate your job, feel stuck. You start doom scrolling. You think about how much debt you have right now, and you wonder if this is it. Pause. Ask the questions. What am I feeling? Dread or hopelessness? When did it start? About 6 months ago, when I lost my job. I had to find a part time job that I didn't really like. It's not what I studied for, but it didn't pay that much either. What's the story? My life's going nowhere. I'm wasting time. I cannot make a lot of money. What do I need? Clarity? Maybe a change? What's one small action? Look for another job option this week. Take a walk. Talk to someone. Now, you got rounds under your feet. You're not drowning. At least you're moving. You haven't seen any results just yet, but you're moving. There's this idea that emotional work is deep, mystical, complicated, that it requires years of therapy, breathing exercises, or talking circles. And that's a myth. What it really takes is attention, curiosity, a willingness to slow down for 5 minutes and be real with yourself. You've done harder things. This one is hard, but it's also different. You've built careers, endured breakups, handled pressure, showed up for other people, and now it's time to show up for yourself. That doesn't mean crying in public or starting a podcast. It means asking what's actually going on with me right now and then having the guts to wait for an honest answer. So let's kill this myth once and for all. Being stoic doesn't mean being numb. It means staying calm while you feel things. It means being the eye of the storm, not pretending there's no storm at all. And you get there by learning how to ask better questions, by practicing, failing, by trying again. You're not broken. You're not too far gone. You just need a map and maybe a nap. So next time you feel off, don't shove it down. Don't scroll past it. Just ask, what am I feeling? And let the rest follow. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope this is useful. For more reading as well as for the writing guide, please visit awritingguy.com. And also, you can use the code thank you at checkout for 10% off your digital products order at my website. Thank you for watching. And if you have further questions that you want to ask about journaling or writing or fountain pens, please comment down below. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.